Hello, lovely people. Tracy here from Tracy's Learning and Coaching. So, today's video is about self-perception. So, I've been chatting to somebody today about self-perception, how they see themselves. So, they were saying that they didn't like themselves until they joined a group, and then they grew as a person. So, I said that self-perception is never real. What we think about ourselves, how we see ourselves, isn't real. It is a set of circumstances in our past that were usually out of our control that make us set our beliefs about who we are and where we are in the world. But that was our perception of that moment in time. It doesn't mean to say it's real. So my example was myself, as usual. I don't give examples of anybody else but myself. So two things made my perception of myself as a child, and I grew not to like myself at all. Two things. I was very spoiled as a child. So the reason I was spoilt was because I was a menopausal baby who was really ill at the age of 5. She was in hospital. So I became very spoiled. So therefore, as I grew up, I was a bit of a beast. So that affected my relationships with everybody else around me. So I didn't fit in very well. So I always felt the odd one out. The other thing that set me differently, or made me feel like I wasn't a nice person, was at the age of 13, I was forced to have sex with somebody who threatened to break both my arms if I didn't have sex with this person. So my parents had always told me to keep myself nice. I had no idea. They didn't discuss sex with me, so I had no idea what nice meant. But after having sex, I realised that I wasn't a very nice person. And this, I already didn't like myself anyway, but then you've got this self-loathing of I'm not a nice person, well, therefore I'm a horrible person. And therefore you start behaving in certain ways. You're running from the truth, you're running from everything, and you build up a set of beliefs about yourself, and then you've set of feelings and a set of behaviours. So, self-perception is not true. The fact that I was threatened with both my arms being broken didn't give me much of a choice. It did teach me that I can't really say no because something bad's going to happen, but that's another story. But from a child's point of view, I was a terrible person for doing it. I didn't take into account all the other things. Now I can see it. Do you know what I mean? So self-perception is not real. It is a set of circumstances. All of that is outside of my control. Both the things that have really set me on that road were out of my control. But it led me to believe certain things. It led me to perceive myself as a certain type of person. It wasn't until I was in my 40s that I realised that actually I'm a nice person, I'm a good person. But I had to get rid of all those beliefs and see the set of circumstances that made me believe that for what they were. It took a long time. I am a slow learner. But the idea of this is about your self-perception. So the things that you think about yourself, the things that you believe are real, probably aren't. They grew up because of a set of circumstances that had happened to you. Did you have any control over those? Probably not. Could you have made better choices? If you had the information that you have now, you probably could have. I certainly would have made better choices. However, I didn't have those. I didn't have that information, and neither did you. So you made the best choice that you could make under the circumstances. That doesn't make you bad. Doesn't make you wrong. It just means that you're a learning machine. So if you made a set of mistakes because of the situation that you were in, was that just your fault? You may loathe yourself, you may feel that you're a bad person, but are you? If you look at your friends around you. We've talked about your friends around you. If you look at the people around you, if they're inherently good people, the chances are you're inherently good too, with just mistakes, which we all make, right? And mistakes we've talked about are allowed as well. So self-perception, is your perception actually true, or is it a set of circumstances? There's a food for thought. Now I'm really appreciating people are actually talking to me via Messenger. Please feel free to leave comments as well. I would be interested to see whether your perception of yourself, that set of circumstances that led you to believe that about yourself, is it a real thing? Did you do it because you was a terrible person, or did you have a reason that at the time was fairly much out of your control because you didn't know everything you know now? If that's the case, perhaps you could set about forgiving yourself and realizing why and accepting why, and start moving on. Forgiveness, you would forgive other people. And if somebody else told you the story that you've got, what would you say to them? Was it all your fault? Probably not. Your perception is not real. It is just a set of circumstances that has led you to believe it. So forgiveness, like yourself, because if your friends are good, the chances are you're good too. It's time to move on. Whatever you do today, have a great day.